The Eastern Front awakens. In the early days of October, the battle for Donetsk began to shift. Ukrainian reconnaissance units moved silently through the shattered remains of villages, once held by Russian forces. Every meter gained here costs blood, sweat, and days of grinding artillery fire. The front, once frozen, is now alive again, with determination, fear, and hope. The ruins of Avdiivka. Avdiivka, once a small industrial town, has become the symbol of endless struggle. For nearly a year, both armies fought street by street, trench by trench. Now, the ruins hide snipers, drones, and shadows of soldiers who refuse to retreat. Ukraine's forces push forward, meter by meter, into the smoke. Russia's defensive web. Russian lines around Donetsk are not just trenches. They are layers, mines, bunkers, artillery nests, and anti-tank zones, built over months, designed to absorb and break any offensive. But the Ukrainian army has learned to adapt, to strike differently. The artillery duel. For every push, there is thunder. Artillery defines Donetsk. Shells fly endlessly across the grey sky. Each barrage marks a contest of endurance, not just firepower. In this duel, patience and precision decide survival. The sky above the front line. Above Donetsk, the war has gone digital. Drones, hundreds of them, scan, strike, and hunt. What once was fought by tanks is now fought by signals and screens. Every eye in the sky is a threat, for both sides. The night raids. Under the cover of darkness, Ukrainian special units cross the grey zone, silent, calculated, relentless. Every raid chips away at Russian morale, leaving confusion and fear in the trenches. Night becomes Ukraine's ally, the unseen war that reshapes the dawn. The night raids. Under the cover of darkness, Ukrainian special units cross the grey zone, silent, calculated, relentless. Every raid chips away at Russian morale, leaving confusion and fear in the trenches. Night becomes Ukraine's ally, the unseen war that reshapes the dawn. Command in chaos. Command posts deep underground relay orders in whispers. Signals jammed, drones watching, tension thick as dust. In this chaos, leadership is not about shouting, it's about surviving long enough to decide. Russia's counterfire. When Ukraine moves, Russia responds, brutally. Counter-battery fire screams across no man's land. Each side hunts the other's artillery, turning open fields into graveyards of steel. The civilians trapped inside. Amidst the chaos, civilians remain, ghosts among ruins. Elderly faces peer through shattered windows, hoping for silence. Donetsk is not empty. It breathes the quiet despair of those who never fled. Ukraine's engineers of survival. Behind every advance, engineers clear mines, repair roads, and restore bridges. They are the silent heroes, building paths through death itself. Without them, the push to Donetsk would collapse. The drone hunters. Drones dominate the air, but so do the hunters. Electronic warfare teams track signals, blind cameras, and cut eyes from the sky. The invisible war above the visible one. The morale divide. On one side, fatigue and frustration. On the other, determination fueled by liberation. Morale is the invisible front shaping the visible war. The commander's dilemma. Each commander faces the same question: push further or consolidate. Too fast, and men die. Too slow, and momentum dies. War is not only strategy, it's timing. The prisoners of Donetsk. Captured soldiers tell stories of exhaustion, confusion, and despair. Both sides suffer. Both sides lose sons. War spares no one, not even those who surrender. The medical front line. Hospitals near Donetsk are makeshift, built in basements and tents. Doctors fight a different war, against blood loss, shock, and hopelessness. For them, Every saved soldier is another victory unseen. The war journalists. With cameras and bulletproof vests, journalists step into the fire. They capture truth where propaganda thrives. Their footage, raw, real, becomes history. Winter's edge. As winter approaches, mud turns to ice, and every breath becomes a struggle. The cold is merciless. It stops machines and hearts alike. In Donetsk, winter decides who endures. The sniper's domain. Every building becomes a watchtower. Every shadow, a threat. Snipers rule the grey zone, unseen but ever present. The propaganda war. Online and on the ground, the war of truth rages. Each side claims victory, but only the ground knows the truth. Information is the new weapon, and silence the new armor. The dying tanks of Donetsk. Burnt-out steel lines the battlefield. What once defined power now lies silent, broken, rusting, forgotten. Tanks no longer decide this war. Technology and will do. The Western eyes. Far from the front lines, satellites and analysts watch. Every explosion, every movement is recorded, dissected, and debated. Donetsk has become the most observed war zone on Earth. The Russian retreats. In some sectors, Russian units withdraw, not from orders, but from exhaustion. Their trenches abandoned, their morale spent. The myth of invincibility fades into the mud. The Ukrainian flag rises again. On a ruined factory rooftop, a flag is raised, blue and yellow against the grey. For soldiers, it means everything. For the world, it means the line is moving once more. The families waiting. In Kiev, Lviv, Kharkiv, families wait. Every call, every message could mean life or death. The battle for Donetsk is fought by soldiers and by hearts at home. The shadows of Wagner. Rumors spread, Wagner fighters, once loyal, now scattered or absorbed. Some return to the front. Others vanish into the black markets of war. Their legacy: fear, brutality, and chaos. The collapse of command. Confusion grows within Russian lines. Orders conflict, supplies run dry, communication falters. In war, chaos is the deadliest enemy, and it's now within. The turning point. Every war has a moment when everything changes. For Donetsk, this is it, when Ukrainian momentum breaks through the last defensive ring. The future of the Eastern Front hangs in balance. The silence after the storm. When the guns quiet, the silence is louder than war. Bodies lie uncounted, and the smoke drifts over a land that remembers everything. Donetsk, a name carved in pain, resilience, and endurance. The cost of victory. Victory, if it comes, will not be clean. It will be paid in lives, in ruins, in generations scarred by war. But for Ukraine, the price is worth it, for freedom, for dignity, for tomorrow.